I woke up. A moment before was the end of the world by my hand. Self-destructing satellites were in place due to the corruption of people being too high. The only ones left standing were me and one girl. She had an imposing opinion from me. One would think we'd accept each other as different, but instead we had a bestial battle in the last solid object in a scorched land of magma. I was completely robotized. She was keeping up out of a stroke of luck and an intense amount of training. I would never let your hideous face conquer the world, she said. I already have. I've invaded Russia with success. I've taken over China. The rest of the countries fell to me and the Anionites. I came back. She swung a kick as I blocked with my gigantic scythe, which was so large it looked like it was meant to be a shield or a flag. Why not give up your evil ways, the girl screamed. A space laser shot down from the sky a few miles away from us and caused a pool of lava to erupt, sending us astray. I'm not evil. Where did you get that idea from? I screamed back. You took over the world, and when people weren't how you wanted them, you destroyed everything, she replied. What's so bad about taking over the world? I only had people in the hundreds die in my name. Do you even know how many people are on Earth? I replied. Every one of us 13 billion people count, she screamed at me again. Then why the hell are you trying to beat me into a pulp? I yelled back. You're not even human. You're a robot, she said. I'm not completely a robot. I used to be human. Besides, what does it matter to you? I act the same way as a human, I said. No, you don't. You're a robot. Robots don't feel empathy, she said. I'm pretty sure I do, last time I checked. I understand you. I just don't agree with you, I said. She tried flipping me over with some crazy leg maneuver, but I got back up with my scythe, and I took some of the ground below me and chucked it at her with my scythe. You know what? I ended world hunger. I gave everyone a job they'd enjoy. I made communism a reality. Why don't you like me? I said angrily. You're a horrible person. You're evil. You manipulate people. What's wrong with you? She replied. What do you mean I'm a horrible person? What's wrong with manipulation? You do it all the time. There's no difference between anything. I wish you would shut the hell up, I said, tossing my scythe at her head, and then it coming back like a boomerang. Manipulation is bad, don't you know? No one wants to be manipulated, she said. I do, goddammit. I don't want to think for myself. Besides, I want friends. The only way to get people to be around you is to have them like you. And the only way to do that is to give them a reason. You create similarities with them. You play games with them. You don't goddamn help them in life in your own way, or else they'll go haywire on you, I said. That's not true. People like each other because they do. Besides, wouldn't you always want to help a friend? She said. I did, goddammit. I helped you. You freaked out on me and screamed at me. I was literally helping you in basically every aspect of life in one go. And you freaked out. I should be asking what's wrong with you, I said, jumping up and crashing down onto the girl with my scythe out front. She swatted me away by spin kicking me. You didn't help me. You manipulated me, you puppet master. Do you think it's funny to kick around people however you want? She said. I don't. Stop putting words in my mouth. I didn't kick you around. I merely gave you advice. How is it so goddamn hard to accept it? I said. Stop cursing. That's not right. You did absolutely manipulate me, you monster, she said. This is utter mutiny against me. Why did you do this? You're making yourself unhappy for no reason, I said. Another space laser from a satellite shot down and was advancing toward us. It was heading straight for our tiny island. Both of us didn't exactly notice it though. Stop trying to rule everything, you control freak, she screamed at me. I jumped in the air again, did a flip, and plunged into the girl, splitting her straight in half. Shut up! I screamed. The space laser cut through the island, obliterating me and the girl. Was it on here, or was it just me? I woke up and was totally sweating as if I just burnt to death or something. I was left at the side, I was at the left side of a bed. I had a purple blanket which was covering the entire thing. My pillow was really fluffed up compared to normal ones. I sat up and got out of the bed, and oh god, was I hungry. I saw in front of me a desktop with a computer. The screen said, "You won the game." Guess that's right. Huh. I looked around to see I'm in some nerd's room. There's posters of all sorts of things, including, but not limited to, Black Lagoon, Bayonetta, and Nichijou. It's pretty cool looking, actually. The place looks organized and on the cooler side. I rummaged through a bunch of drawers and desks all around the place, but no snacks. Not even the 1,000-year-old Pocky Sticks are laying around somewhere. I think it'd be, seeing as whoever lives here is a total weeaboo. There was a door at one corner of the room, so I went through that to see a hallway in front of me, sideways. Also, there's a big stairway in front of me, me being behind the railing of it. I strolled down said stairs as an instinct to find a kitchen for snacks. Down the stairs, now on floor 1, since there's a door in front of that stairway. Behind the stairway is our hallway. It's in the middle of what seems to be 2 stairways, actually. The place must be absolutely symmetrical, I guess. I invited myself right into that hallway. It was pretty straightforward into a magical room with a lovely sign on top saying, "Kitchen." Oh, I was overjoyed. I walked right in to see that it had a tropical theme. There was a refrigerator on the right, so I was drawn to that like a magnet. I looked inside to see the most greatest and wonderful thing in the known universe, a surfeited amount of toaster strudels. It's amazing. You don't even know, man. I got down and praised the refrigerator. Then I took one of the packets and threw it into the closest machine which cooks. Luckily, there was a toaster oven literally sitting next to the refrigerator. Every moment I passed, I was intently looking at the toaster strudels cook. It was so great that I almost had stars in my eyes. Then the toaster oven did ding, and the toaster strudels popped out. The toaster oven was even nice enough to somehow hand them to me. It was light green and had legs along with arms. I got a plate from a lucky guess of the drawer right above the toaster oven. I then dug into the most amazing universal wonder, toaster strudels. I then ate them in a desultory way, savoring every bit of such an amazing treat. I almost turned into light from my satisfied hunger. After I was done eating, I turned around and someone was in front of me. "Hi, I'm Yukari," she said. She looked great. 10 out of 10. 8 out of 8. Would rate again 8, mate. It's a good thing I could discern her from the other girl from earlier, or else I'd have to conquer this place too. The girl had ridiculously long, curly, dirty blonde hair. Yukari had really pale skin, with little to nothing messing with it. She was wearing a t-shirt, a hoodie, and long baggy yoga pants. Actually, what did I look like though? Thank you for introducing yourself. Oh, I'm not great at talking. But who am I? I asked. You are you. I bought you at Walmart. It was one of those do-yourself kits, you know? She replied. Does that make me a robot or something? I asked. Yeah, if you want to call it that. Also, you're a pet. My pet, to be exact, she said. Do you shoot rockets and stuff? I asked. Not really, you're just like who you are. The only difference is now you're here in the real world, Yukari answered. I sat up on the table in the middle of the kitchen. So, what do you want to do? I asked. We could play Robocraft together, you know, she answered. I hopped down from the table. A shrill noise appeared out of nowhere, and Yukari was gone. I guess she went upstairs through teleporting. even though that never happened in my world. Now I think of it, even though I had all that progress in science shortly after taking over the world, I never figured out teleportation. This may be the first of many paradoxes within Land's illusion. I walked around the hallway, up the stairs, and back into the Weeaboo room. Weeaboo Jones's room to see Yukari was spinning around on a chair in front of the computer. When she saw me, she stopped spinning. I read your story, Yukari said. It seems to be filled with lechery. It makes sense you don't show it to everyone or hardly anyone, she said afterwards. A laptop appeared on the ground in front of her. I laid down behind it and turned it on. It was my computer, it seems. Look at that. Is anything new, I asked. Yeah, generally. You kinda destroyed any way I could contact you, Yukari replied. What do you mean? I asked. I use the internet as a form of telling you what's all around here. However, you kind of took over the world and kind of destroyed it, she replied. I got on Steam. All the games I normally had was there. I booted up Robocraft and my account had everything. I even had a pre-made stealth bomber. Those things rock, man. Thus I added her, and we played duel mode. I lost within the minute. I ruminated for a minute afterwards of how that was possible. Yukari gently kicked me to see if I was awake. I made a robot which was a block of SMGs. You think I'd win, right? I still lost. I tried out a medic cone. I still lost. Does my robot not have the right propriety? What's the meta like? I never even got to see Yukari's device. I climbed onto her chair to look. She had a fighter jet. You know what? When I see a fighter jet, I always chide it. They look so gross and tried hard. I tried making a fighter jet like hers, because, you know, that's the only way I can win, I guess. And we battled, and I still lost. I tried again with new weapons. Nothing ever seemed to work. Why do you win so quickly, I asked. You don't seem to have enough brain matter to process information as much as me. In short, you shall always languish compared to me, she said. Thus, I decided to play on practice mode, like the salty piece of crap I am. There's a lot of new items, actually. Yukari laid on top of me and watched me play. She pressed random buttons when I was testing out my vehicle. Somehow, it got me kills. And krill. Like crazy. Is there like a new mechanics to this? I asked. Not much. Only a few new things, she replied. She rolled off of me. Do you think it's nice here, Yukari asked? I guess so. Where did I live before, I asked. In the game I made. It was so I could guide you in the right way, since, you know, I'm not great at talking to people. Yukari replied, and same here. I could never get the response I wanted out of people. So I made others speak for me. Overall, I became pretty timid for the most part when face to face with someone. I said, you know that one Greek term, pathos? We don't have that. We just have some sort of Renaissance mindset, which kind of disallows us to talk to others well. It's not exactly smart either. Pretty much sucks for us. If one can't communicate another in such a way that they show that they are smart, then they aren't, Yukari replied. That's kinda sad. What will we do about that then, I asked. Be with each other? 2 peas in a pod is just enough to make a relationship to be able to be friends forever, she answered. I stopped playing and stared around the room for a bit. Yukari was playing on her DS. So where are we now? I asked. We're in my little dimension, but in reality, we're like a little to the left of South Korea, she answered. Do you have any pets? I asked. I have you. Other than that, I don't have anything alive in my house, Yukari replied. Oh, what about you? I asked. I'm a puppet. What could you consider Yukari as a whole dimension, a string of coincidences that form into someone, somehow. So basically, what I kind of mean by that is, I'm not really Yukari. make it that way, Yukari said. So, if you're a magic person, could you do anything, I asked. Well, I could. I could steal anything. I could kill anyone right now if I felt like it without any repercussions for me, Yukari said. But you wouldn't, right? I said, of course. As much as there isn't any repercussions for me, there are. If those people cease to exist, they can't create new entities. They can't advance anything, and thus I would get bored. I wouldn't be advanced. It's like an entire waste of energy, in a way. Me getting little laughs for trolling now, but then becoming bored, sad, and depressed later. That kind of mindset just doesn't work. Some people may call themselves virtuous for not committing any crimes, but in reality, they only stop themselves because of a higher, smarter power told them to. That power, in person, would be me, she said. I guess you're just like me. All of the way you explained that sounds rude. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but when in practice, it works so well. I said. I looked at Yukari for a little while, and she sometimes looked back, probably wondering what I'm doing. I got hungry after a little while. Thus, I asked for a meal and we got dinner. Supper was just some toasted ham sandwiches. It satisfied me alright though. The entire house, it actually felt really nice. Normally at my house, physics are applied and the house is unbalanced by being warm in some areas and cold in some areas. However, no matter where I went, what I had on was currently perfect. I pretty much had the same thing on as Yukari did. After dinner, Yukari showed me around the house. It was in a big circle shape. It's like the Dymaxion house, except with 2 floors. There's a train room, a living room, a bathroom, which is actually a pool, a toilet room, and a bedroom. The entire place had the same carpeting, which is really squishy and pretty fuzzy. It also didn't make my feet cold, thankfully. The train room had sky blue walls with fluffy clouds painted onto them. In the middle, and for the most of the room, there was a table, which had a city mapped out in the models. So, yeah, the floor was grass green. The living room had a small TV and a Wii with a skin pasted onto it. There was also a couch. Nothing else, though. Also, there weren't many windows around. The bathroom looked like it was some sort of Greek god-worshipping room. There were bubbles floating around all over the room. The entire place was made of stone and marble. There was a big bath with water fountains and shaped like fish in the middle. After the tour around the house, it was getting later at night. Apparently, the game I had developed myself was on my computer, so I played that. I'm really good at Justicar, so I decided if me and Yukari did a botched Justicar duo, we'd rip people up. However, I would get myself enmeshed when trying to play the instruments of the song, since my game gave me bonuses. As so, I only got a B- rating. Due to Yukari getting a triple S rating, we barely won our lane. The other 3 members of our team got A+. Then we played co-op Touhou. That's a new thing in Touhou 16. I died 3 times. However, Yukari had all of her lives and gained extra. It's kind of odd how when I saw Yukari at first, I had an affinity for how she looked. It was actually really adorable. We didn't talk much from playing together. After we played Touhou, I looked around Facebook. I had a fan page. Why do I have a fan page again? I asked. I streamed what you were doing at all times. In the end, quite a few people were watching. Most of them were the real copies of people that you met in that world, Yukari replied. So, the people you made up are actually real people, I asked. Yeah, it's not easy being creative, Yukari said. I got really bored after checking Facebook. I'm also tired. Can we go to bed, I asked. The lights turned off automatically and Yukari said, sure. I tried to find my way to the bed and we both snuggled up under the covers. I still see Yukari's eyes. They were cloudy and lavender. Thus, then, she shut her eyes and all was dark.